Okay, today I'm going to show y'all how to access Illuminate. Illuminate is our new testing platform. So this is how you would give your in-class quizzes, assessments, common formative assessments. And so any type of data that we want to collect and look at, we need to use Illuminate to give the assessment because it'll collect the data for us. So we go to Google and I'm going to type in Illuminate teacher login. What'll come up is this Illuminate Education. It's this auth.illuminated.com. I'm going to click on that. And because I was already logged in, it takes me straight to it. What you guys will do is you will log in by pressing the Google button and log in with your school login. So that's pretty easy to get logged in. Once you're logged in, what I would recommend is putting a star or a bookmark for this page in your browser. So Illuminate Education, I'm going to put it in my bookmarks bar, click done, and now you'll see up here in my bookmarks I have Illuminate Education. It'll take me straight to it, so I don't have to search for it every time. So here in Illuminate Education, you have your dashboard. This is what you'll see when you log in each time. You have on the left side, you'll have your profile up here. Mine is JH for John Heyman. There's a search bar. You can search for things if you can't find them. You can go straight to your assessments, reports, and look at your students. So go ahead and test out to see if your students are listed properly. If they're not, let me know. So today what we want to do is just learn how to create a practice assessment. That's all I want to focus on now, is learning how to make an assessment. But what Illuminate can do, I'll go through it real quick, is like this gray box right here, view assessments. All the tests that you create will be listed there, and you can go back and look at them and change them, edit them. Create an assessment allows you to make a new assessment from scratch. Flexible assessment is very similar, but I recommend that everyone stick with create an assessment at first. This light blue box, give a test online. This is what you will click when you're ready to give your test to your students. There'll be a code that the students can access their test from. Live proctoring, that's when you are proctoring a test live. Constructed responses, this is how you will grade your assessments, especially if you have a written portion. And view reports, that's where you can go to see all your data and view it in different ways. And you can even create your own reports. You can edit this layout and you can change the way this page looks. However, today all we want to do is create an assessment. So I'm going to click on create an assessment. We're going to do item bank. The differences of these are not that great. The second one is something you might want to use if you already have a PDF of a test. You can just scan that PDF, upload it, and then you can give an online administration of that test by using an online key. That way you can grade it easily. But what we want to do is learn how to make these computerized tests where there's no paper. So I'm going to go to item bank. New item bank doesn't work yet, or it does, but it's not complete. So just go to item bank and then wait. After a few seconds, it should open up into a new window, and it's going to say what kind of content do you want to create. Well, I'm going to create a standard assessment. I'm going to click next. And so I want y'all to try this today by creating your own assessment. It can just be 1 or 2 questions. You're just practicing, but make sure you name it Bel Air practice and then put your name. That way I can go in and delete these practice assessments. Now what we'll do next week is learn how we're going to name our tests, because we're going to use the same naming strategy or convention for every class. But I'm just going to put Bel Air practice Heyman. So if I was Miss Brown, I would put Bel Air practice Brown. This assessment description is just practice assessment. That lets me know I'm going to go delete it later. Academic year is going to be 2020, 2021. Grade levels, I'm going to pretend like I teach 9th grade ELA. And then I'm going to click create. Now for standards, we are looking at Louisiana Student Standards. It's the last one that's listed. So I'm going to go to Louisiana Student Standards, ELA. grades 9 and 10. And, you guys know your standards, but what I'll do is I'll just pick like, I'm going to go to the literature standards and do like main idea, I guess. So I'll go here and look at, I don't know, I'll put RL 9-10.1, select it. Now that standard is on my test. I'm going to click next. You can have multiple standards, or you can have one or two standards. If you're doing a CFA, you'll probably just have a couple of standards. If you're doing a midterm type test, you would probably have lots of standards. So I'm going to go next. Now I need to add items. So I'm going to go to search because I want to add items that are already there. So I'm going to go to search. And it's going to bring up, passages that I could use with questions that have already been created. So I may say I like this first one right here. It's a pretty long passage, but I want to add this constructed response question in that passage. I'm going to go to next. Okay, it's showing me the questions that are on my test. And it shows the standards that this question addresses. I'm going to click next. This is the setting that shows how the test will be displayed, what the font size will be, all of that. You can also create a PDF template so that you can do a paper copy of it as well. You can change these and play with them to your liking. I'm just going to click generate. So it's going to create a printable version of my test, which if I open, looks like this. So I could print it for students that are in class. That's the test. Then I'm going to go back, click next. I can click publish and administer, and that way it will be live. So but right now I don't want to administer the test. I'm just going to click publish. And now my assessment has been published. It's called Bel Air Practice Assessment at John Heyman. I'm not going to add any additional materials. It's just one passage and one question. So I can go to preview. And I'm going to pretend like I'm a student and begin test. And so the students will see it like this. They can scroll through the passage on the left side and then type their answer on the right side. And so that's it. So I'm going to stop reviewing my test, click finish, return to item bank. And then basically this test has already been created. So what I want to do is go back to Illuminate. So I'm going to go back here. Now I click on, this is my dashboard. I want to view the assessment I just created. And there's Bel Air Practice Heyman. And these two were just practice items that I created. So I'm going to go over here and delete. And then I have to click the yes boxes and then click delete. I just want y'all to practice creating your first assessment. Remember to call it Bel Air so that we know it's our school. We don't want to just put a bunch of fake tests in the system because anybody can see these. So call your test Bel Air Practice, and then I want you to practice creating a test. You can search through the item banks to find questions that fit your subject. And then next week, again, like I said, we'll practice with how we're going to name our official tests and how to create your own items and how to use the item banks. So this week, just try to create an assessment with 1 or 2 questions and publish it. And then I'll go in and delete those practice assessments, but that will be the extent of the training today. We need to get you logged into Illuminate. That's the first objective, get logged in. Once you're logged in, see if your students are there. That's the second objective, make sure your classes are correct. And then the last objective is to create a practice test. If you have any questions, email me. If this doesn't work for you, email me. Let me know what's going on, but you need to make sure you can get into the system and you know how to create a basic assessment.